So let's get started. And if somebody joins along, we are recording this. So you can go back to the recording and catch up to anything that you may have missed. My name is Marty Reyes. I am an instructor and an owner of TMA. And by my side is Tim Whalen.
Hello.
Tim Whaling is also a owner and an instructor. Tim will be starting off doing the first few lessons, and then I'll jump in after that. So right now, I just want to bring up our agenda. Today, what we're going to talk about are the basic course and this new platform that we've changed to and why we did that. Tim's going to take that, and then after that, I'll discuss the dates, time, schedule. We'll look at how the lessons follow a 2-week cycle, and then we'll discuss about how to get online and for the classes. And then we'll discuss emails and contact information, and then we'll jump into the quizzes and the final exam. And then after that, we'll open it up to questions and answers. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Tim, and Tim's going to talk about the basic automation course and why we changed to this new platform.
Well, hello, everybody. I hope everybody's enjoyed the summer so far. It's been kind of a hot one up here in Michigan, comparatively speaking, so I'm kind of ready for fall myself. But as we developed, we're still new, as we talked about in the at the conferences and things like that, and we're still kind of feeling our way what's going to work best. And as we started working on the platform over the summer, we came to the realization that we wanted to have at least a more reactive or interactive platform with the students. And the other thing so this WebEx meeting platform is more like a real classroom where we've got all the students gathered at the same time. They have a chance to ask questions. It's more of an interactive environment in that capacity. It gives us the ability to kind of update as we go, and there's going to be things that come out of this that instead of creating just a streamlined platform and putting it out there, it's more of an interactive thing. We felt that was a better way to at least start this out. This type of tool, as well, is used for meetings in businesses all over. During the day, in our day jobs, we use this type of meeting platform all the time. So that enhances, to me, the usability of this, the functionality of it, and the teaching aspect of it. It's going to give our students a chance to learn this format where it's something maybe a lot of these folks, younger guys have been exposed to through video calling and things like that, but not necessarily in a meeting environment like this. And so I think this format lends itself to that, to get them used to being in this environment someday when they'll use it in a business format. It still allows for an online, go at your own pace environment for those who choose, because we're going to tape each of these sessions, and those folks who don't want to, today we both have day jobs, so we can't really do this during the day when most homeschoolers are doing their work. That was the one drawback to it that I saw. But we are going to have a tape session that's available for viewing over Vimeo. We're going to provide students a password, so either the folks that go through the course on the live session can go back to it and continue to get into some of these topics a little bit deeper. And it will also allow those, people who don't want to take that time during the evening, they can watch it the very following week. And Marty's going to go through this 2-week cycle that we're going to be on. We felt that was the best way to kind of have the best of both worlds, if you will. People will still be able to do a go at your own pace, or they can do these live sessions when we're going to be have more of an interactive environment and so on and so forth. So those are the top three. Some of the other reasons for the change was simply a cost. I mean, this is a little bit lower cost platform for us to be able to try and get this going and get the information out there and kind of see how it's going to work, get some feedback from some folks, and be able to deliver it in a way that we feel is going to be effective, but also, again, just more of a personal environment. Where we're working with people more instead of just putting something out there and letting them go at it when we don't really have that interaction with the students at all so much. So we felt like this was a better way to kind of cover both spectrums, if you will, at a lower cost to kind of get into this marketplace. It allows us to keep the content current. There might be something, Marty and I were talking about this the other day at our day jobs. Like a company came out with a new product recently that was really, really neat. And it was something we introduced to most all of our customers like right away. And so when new technologies come up and things like that, if we're taping these lessons, a month or 2 or 3 ahead of time and just putting them out there, we don't really capture some of that. Whereas if we are, continuing this process on a weekly format, or continuing to do live sessions, even though we're taping them for folks that don't want to watch the live session or interact in the live session. We just feel like it's going to be a better overall experience and give us that ability to keep everything completely current with what's going on in the market, what's going on in automation, which is what this is all about. And then it also gives us some flexibility that we didn't have in the other format. And so we just feel like all around this is going to be a better way to approach it to start out with. Again, I can't say that enough. We are just starting. We're still working through some of the bugs. I know this format isn't going to appeal to some of the folks as much as being able to just
I can't hear anything.
push your own pace through Teachables, the way that was originally set up. But we feel like going forward, this will be a better overall option. So, the people that want to do it that way still have that option. They're just a week delayed in the process. Excuse me. But those who want to do more of a live interactive session will have access to that. And eventually, hopefully, one of us will get kicked out of our day job sooner or later, and we can actually do these during the day. But, we'll just have to play a wait and see on that one. So hopefully this will work for folks. We picked Tuesday night because we know a lot of folks attend church on Wednesdays, and Tuesdays seem like a good night of the week, at least, for our schedules and the way that we can make it work. So if that doesn't work for some folks, I apologize. I just don't know how else we could do something like that. Because obviously, we have families too, and we're trying to make this work the best that we can for everyone. So we're hopeful that that works for everyone. So with that, those are the main reasons. Marty, did you have anything else you want to add to that? Or?
No, I just would like to say that I totally agree with Tim about that flexibility part of it. This really does open the door to be more interactive with students. Clearly, that's our goal and has always been our goal, and probably one of the things that we had the most feedback on was there any way to get more interactive? This platform will allow us to be more interactive with students. While we're online, they can pose questions, we can get on chat, you can actually raise your hand. The first night of the lesson will cover how that works on the WebEx platform, where you can raise your hand, you can get on chat, and some people have already done that, got on the chat and asked questions. That's exactly what this will allow us to do, and that's why we're looking so forward to it. Anything else there?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, so
did anybody have any questions about that part of it? See any hands being raised?
either raise your hand or just jump on the chat. And if you jump on the chat, it just comes directly to us. It's not something that everybody sees.
Well, just so you guys know too, as we develop this side of it, we invested in some technology for the other way we were going to go, and now, as we go forward, we'll be investing in some of the technology to handle things this way, to make it effective, to make it the content delivered in a way that works for everyone too, and hopefully, how technology is. Sometimes you do have bugs, and we'll have to work through that when it comes up. We're going to do the best we can to provide you with an excellent delivery of content. So.
And then keep in mind, if you did miss something, definitely go to the website. You'll find on the website a place where you can download this recording of it, and then replay it, and then you should be able to catch up on whatever you might have missed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to move on, and what we want to do right now is we want to look at the schedule for the basic automation class. Primarily, I want to look at the date and the time schedule, and then look at how that 2-week cycle plays out. So here's the schedule itself, and you can see that we start on August 28th, which is next week, Tuesday, at 8 o'clock. Then the next class is September 4th, and then we go every single Tuesday. And I'm going to move on to the next page here.
And I'll just add a little bit to that. There was, if you look at this course flow versus the one that we had previous, one of the other things that we noticed in developing the program is we didn't really build as strong a foundation as we wanted to. So part of this change was building from the ground up a little bit more. In other words, not taking such a 10,000 foot view, maybe doing some of that, but bringing it back down. You see a lot more content focused on basics on electronics and mechanics, math, some of these things that are going to be building blocks that will allow people to, allow students to decide, hey, yeah, I've really got a genuine interest in this. I want to take this further when we go to the intermediate course. Or, yeah, you know what, I really don't care about, whatever, capacitance or inductance and impedance. And, some of this stuff just really is way over my head, and I'd rather do something else. So again, the goal is still the same, to teach students about this, about the environment, about the market, about the opportunities there are in this field right now. But we really felt like we were missing something when we reviewed that, or we're starting to transition from putting that outline that we shared with everybody at the conference into an actual application of teaching the course, and wanted to make sure we had the correct building blocks in place to make sure that whoever comes out of this course has a good fundamental understanding of everything that they need to apply that when they go out into the field to actually go to work or to do something in this field.
And this class schedule should have been emailed to you in the meeting notes. So if you did not get a class schedule, let me know, and we'll definitely get one out to you. So moving on till December, the first time we have a break is January 25th, which is Christmas. I believe that week of Christmas and the following week, I think that's the Tuesday. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it is. It's the Tuesday. So we'll be off those 2 weeks, and then we'll resume on January 8th. And then we'll follow through on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock until the week of spring break, and we have spring break on the week of March 26th. So we'll resume schedule again after that on April 2nd, and then move all the way through till 3/4 of the way through May, and the final will be on May 21st. So now I want to show you how that 2-week schedule works. So if you look at any given month, the live class will begin where that yellow circle is. The yellow circle is around 2 Tuesdays. So the first Tuesday there is the live class. That's at 8 o'clock. Then we follow the red arrow, and you see that in following the red arrow, it says editing and finalization of the recorded lesson. So we're going to take the recorded lesson and we're going to edit it. Now you'll still get the complete content, but we're just editing it to optimize it for a web presentation. And then that will happen during the course of that week. And then come the following Tuesday, here in the green box, it says prior week's recorded class available. That's where you'll be able to download the prior week's lesson. So if you didn't want to start with live classes, you could take the recorded classes starting that second week. We'll look at that a little bit more closer here in a second. Then moving on, that same Tuesday, the next live class starts at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The same cycle of live classes on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. and recorded classes available the following Tuesday will continue out throughout the school year. So I'm going to ask you to hold off on any questions until I get through this. So let me see if I can make this a little clearer. So Here's our first class. That's August 28th. That's circled in red. So that's our first class.
First live class.
First live class,
Yes.
right? So here we start live. So here you could start on the 4th, September 4th, anytime after that using the edited versions of the class, of the live class. So there's a little arrow, the little green arrow means you could download the class. So the live class happened on the 28th. The recorded class is available on the 4th for download. Then on the 4th, there's another live class. Then on the 11th, the next available download will be for the class recorded on the 4th. That's the 2-week cycle.
So each week you're getting a live course, and we'll, that's going by the schedule. And then we're going to take that content, put it into video format, get it on Vimeo, send everyone a password. So those who couldn't attend the live class can download the content and go through it and take the quiz and send that in. We'll get to the actual quizzing now next in the final, but and so there'll be a continual process of that. So those who want to go back into the content, make sure they get everything clear, or maybe they take the quiz and didn't do so good or something, they want to do it again. We'll see how we work through some of that stuff, but just know that you're going to have access to this twice. If you can't make the actual regular class, there'll be a tape session you can download off of Vimeo. Should be very easy. We've tried that out and it seems to work pretty good. But it will be a passworded thing, so just the students that are taking the course can get to it.
So now I'm going to bring up what that schedule looks like with the recorded classes in there. So August 28th, here's lesson 1, week 1, August 28th, the live class happens. Then on September 4th, you'll get that recorded class if you want to download it. The next week, September 4th, week 2, we'll still be on lesson 1, talking about types of automation. The live class happens September 4th. The recorded class for that lesson will be available on September 11th. And so that schedule just goes down, and this schedule you did not get in an email. I will be forwarding this as well as other information about the classes out in another email, so you should get that this week yet. So then here's the rest of the schedule. There's only 2 breaks in that week recording, and the first time that really happens is here in lesson 7 on week 17, which is just before Christmas. The 18th we have a live session. The recorded session then would come out 7 days later, which would be Christmas. So we decided to during that week we would push to get that recorded session out, so that would be available on December 21st, which I believe is a Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure which one that is. The same thing happens that week just before spring break, March 19th. If we waited the 7 days, it would be into the spring break week. We didn't want you to have to wait so long to get the recorded session here again, so we're making that available on March 22nd. And now, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and hit me up on the chat, and then we'll just watch for that, and I will move on here. So the next thing I want to talk about is getting online. Again, we mentioned this before that we're using the WebEx platform. This is an industry standard platform. Some of the students may have already used this. Your parents may have used this at work. Like I said, it's an industry standard platform, proven throughout the industry. If you get to use this now, Maybe when you get into a job or a business, you'll be the WebEx
One really
guru,
knows what's going on. Yeah.
which is kind of neat because taking control of the meetings and stuff is kind of fun. I like doing it.
So unless anybody has a question about getting on there, it's pretty easy. You click on the link. There's a meeting code. Everybody was able to get on here tonight. The classes will run essentially the same way. If you have an audio issue, with your computer, you can always dial the phone number and listen in on the phone. A lot of times I do that for meetings that I go just because I like having my headphones on. But there's really, it's pretty easy and pretty self-explanatory. If anybody has any issues getting on, we'll always have, you'll have it. I think everybody's got our card. Everybody's got the support email that's going to go to all three of us, Marty, Josh, and I, to be able to hopefully interact with that or deal with it before we get everybody going on the class. And the other thing I think this lends itself to is if we do have issues like that, we can kind of deal with them as right there on site. Somebody has issues downloading something where we're not around or what have you, we're going to, it's going to interrupt their time to be able to take this class. So now, in this type of structured environment, we feel like that's kind of another advantage. We're all working on it together, and hopefully getting, just like when somebody had sound issues before, it's back, so that's good. But we can kind of deal with it as we go. But if anybody has any questions on how to use this, certainly let us know. But we felt like it's a pretty straightforward format. It's pretty easy to access. You'll get a meeting notice. We're still kind of talking about whether to send out an entire schedule of the meeting notices or just do them like 1 week ahead of time. I don't know.
We'll probably do it both ways. So right now on the screen, you can see circled in red is the link to the meeting. That's what most of you probably clicked, or a similar link to get to the meeting. And I'm not sure or not if we had you enter in the access code, but in the future you will have to put in that access code, and that's right to the right of that. So like Tim said about, this is the access code, but Tim said about the link itself, we'll probably send you a whole class schedule with all the links in it, and just in case you lose that or delete the file, we'll still send you another one every week, so that way you'll always have the link for the next meeting,
next live class.
Right. And if for whatever reason you still lose that or that got deleted, you can always hit us up at our support at teachmeautomation.com and just leave us an email and we'll send you that link for the next scheduled class. So that this circled in red is the meeting access. And then like Tim said, and you can do this at any point, just pick up your phone and press the buttons. Old school, I'm sorry. I just aged myself, right? So press the buttons. So here in this case, I would have typed in 1-510-338-9438. I'd get a voice that says, well, we can do it right now. Watch, I'll show you.
We need the Jeopardy music.
Yeah.
338.
Help me out here, Tim. 9438. So all I did is.
Welcome to WebEx. Enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound.
So I'm going to enter in my access code. It's
628-426-568.
And then pound.
Your entry 6228.
Oops, I did it wrong.
426,
This is what would happen if you did it wrong.
Is not valid, or the meeting is not started yet. Re-enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound.
I did that on purpose. No, I did not. 628
426
426
568.
The meeting has not yet started. If you are the meeting host, enter the host PIN followed by pound. If you
That's
are
all.
not the host, press pound.
That shouldn't happen either. I'm not sure why that did that, but we'll look at that. But you should get into the meeting, and what you'll do is you'll hear the voice. I'm just looking at the screen right now to see if somebody called in. Somebody did call in, so it worked. But the audio that comes over the phone is much clearer sometimes than what your computer might be.
Yeah.
Depending on what your internet speed is at home, you could have competing issues between transmitting all of the multimedia and your video file, as well as the audio at the same time. So if you just want to shut off your speakers and just listen over the phone, sometimes it's clear.
Mhm.
So emails and contacts. So if you need to get a hold of us, the best way to do that is at support@teachmeautomation.com. During the week, while you're off in between live classes, or if you're taking the recorded classes, you can always reach out to us. We'll always make ourselves available. That is probably our number one goal, is to make sure that we're servicing all the students.
Mhm.
Don't ever hesitate to reach out and try to contact us. We will get back to you as soon as possible. If it's something related, you have a question, that's something that you're not understanding, we might send you links to where you could get further information on something that you might not understand clearly enough, or just to provide you with more examples of what question that you might have. So again, if you need to get a hold of us, support@teachmeautomation.com is the place to do that. Add anything to that? Or?
I mean, everybody, I think most folks have gotten our business card or has, other ways. I think there's a number on our website too you can call. So we'll be accessible as much as we possibly can be.
Definitely. So looking at quizzes, quizzes do not count as part of your grade.
Okay, originally this was going to be the approach, but as we started discussing that a little bit further, we realized that in order to have a good participation model, I mean, we don't really have a good way, we can do that with the live courses and kind of check off just like they would in a class, like who's attended. But those who want to take the course via the Vimeo download, there's really no good way to do that because they can just get on Vimeo and kind of watch the setup. So what we decided to do was we'll do like a 75 or 25-75. We'll take the quizzes. That'll be part of the participation. They're going to be a PDF format. So when you're done watching the course material, you can download that PDF content, take the quiz, either scan and email it back, or email us your answers. We still got to kind of work through that exact format of how we want to do that because not everybody has a scanner. We understand that. And that may be a case-by-case basis.
We got that. Okay, I'll show
you.
you.
Okay, Marty's going to cover that in a minute. But anyway, so we're going to go 25% on the quiz content. That'll be the participation / quiz grades, and then 75% on the final. And then those who do, I think we talked about that at the conference, C or better, we will issue a certificate of completion for the course.
So where do you get that? You can download the PDF file. The PDF form is like any other PDF form, but what I was alluding to earlier when I told Tim we got that covered, it's a fill-inable PDF. So on the PDF file, you'll just see a spot where you can type in, and there'll either be checkbox, like if it's true or false, it'll be a true or a false, and you can click in the little box, and it just puts a checkbox in there for you. So if you pick true, is an apple fruit, true or false? And if you put true, they would put the checkbox in there for you. If you pick false, then you'd get it wrong. Let's see. So you would download that form, and then you would download that right from our website on teachmeautomation.com, and that's under the class resources. There was one more thing I wanted to tell you about that. So you would, when you're all done with the form, you save the form and just email that back to us as an attachment. That's how you'll get your quizzes back to us. We'll take care of all the grading for that, and then we'll send that back. I'm not sure that everybody has a form, and during the first day of class, we'll get that form out to everybody. That form that I'm talking about is a student information form. It lists the parents' email as well as the student email, and where all the quizzes and the exam should go back to. So if it's a parent and the parent wants to see all of the graded quizzes, and we can send it back to the parent, or we can send it to both. It's up to you guys the way you want to do that in your own home. So again, to get that, you just go to download the quizzes. It's under class resources, right off our teachmeautomation.com website. And the final is done the same way. There's a spot where you can go in there and you'll just download the final, take the final, save it, send it back to us as an attachment, and then we'll send it back to the email that we have on file for the student or the parent or both. So do you have anything else you want to add before we go to questions? No? So we had another webinar yesterday, and as soon as I turned on everybody's mic, it got really loud for some people and they couldn't hear. So to ask a question, there's if you move your mouse down to the bottom of the screen, you can raise your hand, or you can use your chat. The chat's that little circle with the little, I don't know, it kind of looks like a, let me see if I can bring, no, I don't want to bring mine up. But if you go down to the chat, somebody just found it, which is good. It's a speech bubble. Thank you.
Nice.
Who is the, yeah. Cool, thank you. So it's a speech bubble. And if you just move down there, you can type in the chat and ask a question. You can also raise your hand, but then I could turn on your mic, and I don't know if you want to talk, but if you do want to talk, Josh, can we unmute mics yourself? So let's see if Josh can, oh, you can't unmute. I have to unmute you. So if you raise your hand, I will unmute you. If not, you can ask a question in the chat. And if you're not comfortable, no. And if you're not comfortable with that, then at support@teachmeautomation.com, don't hesitate whatsoever to send us questions there, and we'll respond to you right away because class is next week, and we definitely want to make you feel comfortable coming into class. And what I told people yesterday too as well, if you want a one-on-one session, let me know at support@teachmeautomation.com, and I will set up a WebEx meeting for you and I, or you and the student and I, so that way they can become completely comfortable with the WebEx platform. Again, our goal is to make sure that everyone is completely comfortable. I don't want you coming into this and not be comfortable with it, because then that will make your learning experience not as well as it should be. So just know that we're here for you, and it's not a problem at all for us to set up a one-on-one just to make sure you're comfortable with that. That first lesson, we will go over the WebEx interface and where you can find everything about raising your hands, the chat, and even turning on and off the mics.